Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Daytona International Speedway for the 43rd event of the NAMAR Mountain Dew Code Red Series. It's the 44th race in total, and the second race in the round of 10, the third round of the playoffs. Getting the coin flip on the front row is Edwin Mendez to his outside, who got his 11th heat win was Hunter Braxton. In Heat 2, we saw a huge crash off of turn number 2, and that made or break who made the race. Casey Nanako, Eli Bright, row 2, Ellison and Zorlin, row 3, Seth Cole, Sky Commons, row 4, with Audra Varan-Oscus and Samet Oskin in row 5. Dylan Young and Dale Lightning are in row 6, with Gardner and Brommer in row 7. Andrew Rich will start 17th, and Matthew Logan is the lowest of all playoff drivers, starting in 20th. As we just show you the rest of the lineup. RJ Bishop had something go wrong during his run. It's only a 1 minute 9 second lap time, so he will start at the very back of the field. We come into the race here today. Your current points leader is Ryan Brommer, a single point over Dylan Young. Andrew Rich is third, 4 back. Logan fourth, 12 back, and Commons is currently the final one in for the final 5. He has a 2-point gap over Edwin Mendez, 11 over Braxton, 12 over Gardner, 13 over Lightning, and 14 over Seth Cole. So it's all very close, very tight together. And we'll see if one of our playoff competitors can score a victory here at Daytona and lock themselves into the final 5 at this point now because of Eli Bright's victory at Darlington. At least 2 of the 10 will make their way into the final 5 on points. We're getting ready for 50 laps of action here at Daytona. Here's the command to fire engines.
Are you ready? Gentlemen, start your engines!
There is the command to fire. Let's see, everyone going to get off pit road here just fine. Yep. Several top-notch drivers from the earlier stages of the playoffs that have been eliminated, missing out on this race, including Bobo Jones for the second race in a row, Nico Tringali, and Enzo Nereza, as well as Alan Cavanero, who at one point had made every race. Now he's missed what is his second race of the season. The battle is still on for 21st in the points. Sekuli with an 8-point gap over Casey Nanako. 30 points ahead of Zachary Fitzwater Sr. and 50 points ahead of Cole Deaver. Cavanero came in 101 back of Sekuli, and now that will dip down even more. Currently, the battle for what is right now 11th in the points will turn into 6th in points once this round ends. Eli Bright, with his win, now has a 44-point gap over Nico Tringali coming in, 60 over Zorlin. Obviously, Tringali missing the race will dip down on that. Bobo Jones came in 63 back. He missed 2. Nereza came in 66 back, and he missed as well. So 3 of the 5 drivers, top 5 in the eliminated points, missing out on Daytona and likely hoping their competition for 6th in the points have a bad day today. And we'll have to see what happens. That would be Eli Bright and Jonathan Zorlin, the highest of those who have been eliminated. But who wins today? Who gets in the big one? The points are close after Darlington. They could be widespread after the race today, depending who gets in an accident and where the accident occurs. We've seen big wrecks here in the NRSL Cup Series. Will we see some flippers today? As the green flag waves, we are underway at Daytona. And from what we've seen in the heat races, the outside line has gotten a pretty good run off of turn 2 on the start. It doesn't look like that will happen this time as Braxton falls down to the inside lane. To the outside of Mendez he goes. Nanako behind the 4, Bright behind the 7, as they're 3 wide already. That's Seth Cole with Varan-Oscus all the way on the bottom. And 3 wide is perfectly fine here. It's when you go 4 wide that things tend to get a little dicey, as Edwin Mendez will lead lap number 1. We saw Eli Bright lead all but 3 laps at Darlington. I don't think we're going to see such a performance here today. Mendez leading the top, Nanako in the middle as Seth Cole moves clear of them both on the bottom, and he'll pull up in front of his teammate Edwin Mendez for the race lead. That puts Baran-Oscus in the lead of the bottom groove. Behind her is Dylan Young, Andrew Rich, and Marty Johnson. Nanako leading the middle. Behind him, Ellison, Commons, and Gardner. Mendez leading the top, or Seth Cole rather leading the top, with Mendez, Braxton, and Bright behind him. Baran-Oscus moves up to the middle. That puts Young as the leader on the bottom. Still 3 wide, several rows deep. And this is the kind of racing we're going to see until the big one strikes. As you see, several drivers are trailing at the back of the field. They include Lucas Catano, Chris Wheeler, Slay Jagger, and Alexander Rowe. Just kind of stringing out. And now, you know, right now it's bad if they go green the whole way, but if they get a wreck, it's going to work out for them well. As they are 4 wide at the front, Quentin Moore, Marty Johnson, Andrew Rich, and Dylan Young. And Andrew Rich and Young, they don't want to be in this position. Young was in an accident in Heat 2. It was not fun for him having that much damage. It's Rich and Johnson who are in the 4 wide right now. Does Rich get enough of a run to clear the 23? Oh, not quite. Still 4 wide at the front of the field as Quentin Moore is trying to take the position for the race lead. Johnson and Rich banging doors. Quentin Moore clears for the lead. He'll go to the top side. Johnson and Rich, are they making contact through the tri-oval? No, not yet. Still 4 wide at the front of the field. Flickinger on the bottom. Moore on the top. And Andrew, he just needs to find the way to get a run. Nope. Him and Johnson clear Quentin Moore. They're back to 3 wide. And everyone takes a breather. So that was insane to watch. And now Rich leads the top, Johnson the middle. Did we have a caution? Did we have wreck? No, we're still green. There's just a huge gap back now. As now it's only Jagger and Rowe who have lost the pack. Wheeler and Catano have gotten back to the back of the field. Fastest lap on the day goes to Bishop, who, of course, started in last. He's made his way on the bottom. You can see his 42 machine there as Rich getting some superior runs here on the top side. Bishop has moved up to 22nd already. You can see him on the bottom behind Cole Baker and Benjamin Ice. But Rich has a powerful machine here today, looking to get a victory at Daytona like he did at Talladega. And he is leading this field strong. It kind of helps when you've got 3 mid-pack cars behind you. Flickinger, Johnson, and Moore are unable to get a good enough run as Rich kind of is moving back and forth across the track. Next 3 cars behind Flickinger is Benny Watson in the 36, Fitzwater in the 39, and Fernandez in the 35. In the middle, it was Johnson. Now Johnson moves to the top as he and Flickinger are side by side, 2 wide behind Andrew Rich. Flickinger will move to the middle, Johnson to the top. That puts Watson in the lead at the bottom. Peter Onjak, 4th car in line down there. Flickinger leading Baran-Oscus, Nanako, and Ellison, while Johnson leads Quentin Moore, Dylan Young, and I believe that is Seth Cole, who's just in front of Edwin Mendez. Now Marty Johnson clearing single file. We've made it 8 laps into this race. Daytona is a kind of track where we don't normally take commercial breaks, so we're likely to stay here the entire time. 8 laps complete. Rich leads the field. Johnson has gotten single file clearance from the pack, and now Adam Flickinger has done the same. So we're going to see a few people, it looks like, straggle their way away from the field. Not sure what word I was trying to use there. 3-car breakaway, Rich, Johnson, Flickinger. And man, they are going away from the field as Flickinger will now make a move to the inside of Johnson for second place. As now Fitzwater and Watson are side by side. And you can see just the top tier cars are just stuck with nowhere to go. We see Seth Cole making a move to the middle lane. He gets in behind the Nako. That'll allow Mendez to get up to the back of Young. As this too wide action for second has allowed the pack to catch back up. It's Fernandez, Fitzwater, and Watson leading the 3 lines, bottom to the top. Johnson will fall in line in front of the 36, and Flickinger in front of the 35. Getting stuck out for more laps than you want could cause you to run out of fuel, so you don't want to really be on the top line necessarily. And the farther back you are, the more likely you're going to have to hit the brakes to avoid running into someone who's trying to get to pit road. Andrew Rich continues to lead the field here, 10 laps in to this race. And RJ Bishop now up to 17th, continuing to climb on the bottom groove. Johnson and Flickinger once again leading the outside and the middle, as Rich is now the only one cleared single file. As you go to the bottom of the standings, Jagger a full 9 seconds from the leader, 8 seconds from Wyatt Anderson, who's last in the pack. And then Alexander Rowe is another 5 seconds. So right now, those two, they're hoping for a wreck because they are far enough back to where they will miss the accident. So you see, once the leaderboard updates, yeah, Jagger lost about 2.5 seconds that lap. And Rowe lost almost 3. Battle for the lead now. Fernandez looking side by side with Andrew Rich. Peter Onjak on the inside line. As Bishop continues to move up towards the front along the bottom, and pretty much anyone who's been on the top or the middle has not fallen back because they have the horsepower to stay on the top. Now Fernandez is in the middle. Johnson still leads the top. He's getting enough of a run to maybe clear. So could we see another upset victory if things go south for the top tier competitors? Andrew Rich leading. Johnson getting a good run on the top. He's going to make a move for the lead in the turn 3. Johnson and Rich side by side for the position. Benny Watson there in third. Benjamin Ice on the bottom with teammate Cole Baker behind him. They're at the front of the field. Dylan Young, you can see, still behind Quinton Moore. Johnson running the bottom, unable to complete the pass on Andrew Rich. And now he'll be side by side on the bottom. He leads Ice and Baker. They're just 2 by 2 now. Next to Quinton Moore, Dylan Young, Edwin Mendez, who are all behind Benny Watson. As now Baker moves to the middle, Bishop to the bottom. And remember, Bishop started in 40th, and now over the course of 14 laps, he's made his way to the top 5, as it looks like Marty Johnson is going to lead a lap here. He's got a better push from Benjamin Ice than Andrew Rich does from Benny Watson. And side by side for the lead now is Rich and Johnson. Does Rich get cleared by the 23? No, he's going to stick it hard on the outside. Look at all. Oh, and we've got a wreck. Someone just got spun. It's Chris Wheeler. Johnny Gardner's involved. Brommer's in the grass. No caution flag. And that really split up the pack. I repeat, no yellow. Wheeler got spun around. Gardner lost the pack and got some damage. You see Brommer back here. Seth Cole, Dale Lightning, likely losing the draft, but they are 4 wide at the front of the field. Sorry for that jarring camera movement. As Tremblay's trying to take the lead from now what is Bishop and Johnson. Wild and Ice are 4 wide in the middle. We might have another wreck. It's Johnson and Bishop fighting for the lead, and Rich is to the outside of a 4 wide situation he does not want to be involved with. Oh, they're going to squeeze here. Wild almost gets into Marty Johnson. Wild and Ice are still 4 wide. We go to the helicopter camera. 3 wide for the lead is Tremblay on the bottom, Bishop in the middle, and Johnson on the top. And Rich just wants to clear this madness. We're on lap 17 of 50. Pit stops are looming. Catano, oh, and they're almost 4 wide in front of the field now. Andrew Rich is just trying to clear the 4 wide madness. Trying to push himself and Marty Johnson away from Wild and Ice, who are barely giving each other enough room. And Catano keeps making it borderline 4 wide for the lead. Tremblay trying to block him. Rich knows this is getting out of hand. He wants to get out of here now. Oh, and there's 4 wide, and Ice has a lot of clearance there. Remember, Tremblay finished second at St. Joltis, and Tremblay's going to move up the track for Catano. 4 wide still at the front of the field. This is unbelievable racing. These drivers know they're almost to pit stops. Can they just get to green flag pit stops? Turner's moving up. I think that means people are pitting, and yes, they are. And Wild's one of them that's coming down. So Straggler's pitting. Matthew Logan is in that field, and everyone else will slow up, and that will dissipate the 4 wide and most of the 3 wide action as Marty Johnson takes the lead. Man, 2 laps of 4 wide. Meanwhile, Johnny Gardner lost a ton of time there from his accident with Chris Wheeler. We will take a look at that eventually, but it looks like this race could go green flag to the finish now. Who pits here? And it looks like it'll be pretty much most of the field. Andrew Rich will lead him down. Edwin Mendez will stay out. But pitting, oh, and there is a wreck back here. That's Skyke Commons and Fitzwater around. Ryan Brommer will get held up as Jackson King will come in and almost pile drive the 3, but Commons with damage. Brommer gets held up, and a lot of playoff drivers having issues here today. It's Martin Wild, the first out of his group. Johnson continuing the lead, looking to win another super speedway race. So everyone has to pit twice. Johnson will come in. Here's Mendez and Voiles. They're coming in this time by. And I believe everyone has pit now. Indeed, there's Gardner, Jagger, Rowe, and Seth Cole. I think we're all separated from the pack. There's Andrew Rich. He's leading our second group out of pit road. And of course, with lappers in front, people fixing damage. There's Andrew Rich leading, Baker second, Bishop third, Watson fourth, Tremblay fifth. There's Martin Wild and his group moving up. A lot of underdogs doing well here today. As Audra Baran-Oscas has retired from the race. Not sure what happened to her. But that is a crushing blow. As Cole Baker's trying to take the lead from Rich, but Seth Cole is in the way. And here's Marty Johnson as everyone coming out of pit road nice and clean. So another thing to look at, whatever happened to Baran-Oscas. But Rich will take the lead away from Marty Johnson. Likely lack of draft for one whole lap by Johnson hurt him. but he won't have to take as much fuel on the second pit stop if this thing goes green. And indeed, according to the ticker, it's Andrew Rich in the lead, RJ Bishop in second, Cole Baker third, Seth Cole a lap down, Marty Johnson fourth at the line, Martin Wild in fifth, Tremblay, Flickinger, Watson, Catano, and Matthew Logan is the top 10. And now Bishop with a run on Andrew Rich, looking for the top spot. So go through the rest of the order. Mendez was 12th at the line. Just trying to look through and find our playoff contenders. Dylan Young 21st, Braxton 23rd, Lightning 29th, Brommer in 30th, Commons 32nd. They're actually right in front of the leaders. Gardner 35th, Seth Cole a lap down in 37th. So not a lot of playoff drivers doing well right now. In fact, the only one doing tremendously well is Rich and his teammate Matthew Logan, who are in the top 10. The next closest driver is Mendez in 12th. Everyone else outside the top 20 right now, as they're going to catch Chris Wheeler, who runs in 36th. And there's Johnny Gardner. He sees them coming. He wants a yellow flag, but he is likely to fall a lap down here as Andrew Rich moves back to the front. Sky Commons is next in line with back end damage. He's 32nd. Everyone else is pretty much okay up here. Brommer, Bright, and Lightning should be okay for the rest of the race. And they've got a good amount of gap to throw it down the pit road as hard as they like. But Andrew Rich leads, Flickinger in second. We approach the halfway mark of the race. This is all on one recording clip so far. As Rich will look to pass these drivers on the top. And now Rich knows if Gardner's got enough horsepower, he should be able to keep up with them. As Matthew Logan is dicing his way through the field, he's closing in on a top 5 position. Indeed, at the line, 4th place for the 9. Martin Wild up to 3rd. As now Rich and Flickinger ride behind the 52 of Alexander Rowe. Johnny Gardner has been cleared by Rich to put a lap down. And now here comes Logan and everyone else. You know, you look at this top 10 pack, it's actually an 11 car pack, and the top cars up here would be Rich, Flickinger, Logan, Johnson, and Bishop. And as long as they don't get separated, they've got a pretty good chance at winning this. And now Rich will come up on Sky Commons. But a great opportunity right now for Rich and Logan to try and win this race, as everyone trying to split. Sky Commons almost gets into it with Adam Flickinger. And once again, Flickinger and Rich the only ones to clear, but they've only got the help from the 52 and the 13. Johnson will pass on the low side. Logan coming around on the top, as Bishop at the back of this group. But man, how about the good days for a lot of guys up here? Martin Wild, Brian Tremblay, Benjamin Ice, Benny Watson, Lucas Catano, Cole Baker, all near the top 10 or in the top 10 right now, with 4 seconds back to Mendez and Voiles, who are by themselves. They won't catch anyone. You see Ellison, 14th to 20th in their own draft pack, are likely to catch Mendez and Voiles. And that will expand that group to 9 cars, as Andrew Rich now leads this mixed group of lead lap cars and lap down cars. I believe we've got Rowe, Jagger, Commons, Seth Cole, Gardner, Chris Wheeler all in this group. Something happened with Oskin and Fitzwater. I believe that was the damage trying to get on the pit road. And Baran Oskus retired. So a 40th place effort for the 21 team. As Rich leads, don't look now, Andrew, but here comes Johnson with help from Matthew Logan, your teammate. And if you look at the stat sheet coming in, Andrew Rich 3rd in points, 42 races, 5 wins, 13 top 5s, 21 top 10s, and an average finish of 13.6. He's started on the pole 5 times and has an overall average starting position of 12.0. Right behind him is teammate Matthew Logan, 4th in the points, coming in 8 points back of Rich, and Logan 5 wins, 17 top 5s, 25 top 10s, the most of any driver, with an average finish of a 12.0. 3 poles, average start 12.7. So 2 of the best drivers in the field as Logan has taken the lead away. Bishop back to the front. And it would be interesting to see if Logan, Johnson, Bishop, Rich, and Flickinger could get in a 5-car line, if they would pull away from the rest of these drivers. You see Seth Cole trailing at the back. And it's still unbelievable that Wheeler was directly around in front of Gardner and it did not bring out a caution. We will have to again look at that. We were on the TV2 still camera down the back straightaway when we saw the smoke occur. But next up for these drivers to catch as far as lead lap cars go is the group of Lightning, Bright, and Brommer. Now Bright probably not worrying too much because he's not in the playoffs anymore, but Brommer and Lightning, this is not a good situation for them. Luckily for them though, you've got Dylan Young and Braxton, 21st and 22nd, leading their group, 12 seconds behind the leaders. And the only playoff drivers doing very well right now is Mendez, Rich, and Logan. As now Logan and Rich battle side by side for the lead. Sky Commons, Seth Cole, Johnny Gardner, all 3 of those guys are a lap down behind Brommer and Bright, or not, Brommer and Lightning. So you've got 5 of the playoff drivers outside the top 25. Young and Braxton, you add them into the mix, there's 7 of them outside the top 20. And a total of 8 outside the top 10. As could the group that has Edwin Mendez in it. That 9-car pack is Frodemar, Ott, Wyatt Anderson, Mendez, Ellison, Moore, Sekuli, Onjack, Turner, and Voiles. Could they possibly have a chance at catching this group? I mean, it's so mixed with top tier teams like Logan, Rich, Johnson, Flickinger, and Bishop. But they've also got all these mid-pack cars. Is that hurting their speed? Oh no, they're gaining. They're battling back there. See, they're still going 214 up here. By the way, did we have a new fastest time? Ooh, Logan got close, 41.262 in the draft. But so right now it's Andrew Rich leading the bottom line. He's got Baker, Catano, and Ice behind him. Logan leads the top with help from Flickinger and Bishop. Now I'd rather be on the top. A little 3 wide at the back of this group as Rich moves to the middle. No one's back there to push him. And it looks like it's just going to be Rich and Logan leading these lines unless someone steps out to make it 3 wide. And Catano's going to do that right behind Rich. Catano goes to the inside of Baker for what would be 3rd place. And if we look at the bottom of the point standings, there's only 5 drivers without top 10s. Jackson King, Catano, Jagger, Magora, and Wheeler. The only one up here right now out of those names is Catano. So Catano would be looking for his first top 10. Drivers without top 5s that are up here, I believe, would be Alexander Rowe, Cole Baker, Benjamin Ice, all without top 5s. So good opportunity to get a good finish here today. But we'll have to see what the final pit stops do to these drivers. They now have 8 seconds over 12th place Jesse Turner, so those drivers are all just fighting for positions now. As Matthew Logan is clearing Andrew Rich. This race has gone by very fast, aside from the wreck on the backstretch that was not called a caution and the incident going into pit road. It's been a clean race. 16 laps to go here at Daytona. Things will definitely heat up soon, but we'll get a better idea once pit stops commence. And it looks like this group will catch Fitzwater. That will put the 39 2 laps down. Now where is the 22? Okay, he's right here at the back of this group led by Young and Casey Nanako. Brommer, Bright, and Lightning at this point, they know that Lightning, he can either get 2 less, 1 less, or 1 more or 2 more than Brommer. And I'm sure Bright knows that. I wonder if they're trying to work together here, teammates, Eli Bright, Dale Lightning, you know. You know, help your teammate out. Get by the 3 of Ryan Brommer. As Logan and his pack have caught Fitzwater, that puts a big hole in the middle. Logan gets by first, holding the lead. Flickinger up to second. Rich will move in line in third. Bishop fourth. Johnson is going to get hurt the most here. He's still stuck behind the 39. As this will divvy up this group. Now Jagger is up here, but he is a lap down. We're at 15 to go, coming to 14 to go. First pit stops came at lap 18. So the big question will be is, when do people from this group start ducking down? And do we see different kinds of strategies? As Rich gets by Flickinger after Flickinger got by Logan. Logan will have to regain his momentum here. Brian Tremblay into the top 5. Benny Watson into the top 5. They're making moves towards the top 3. But again, bad luck for Baranowskis trying to maybe would have had a chance at maybe getting closer to Eli Bright in the points. And so I mentioned, you know, Tringali, Nareza, and Jones, 3 of the guys 11th to 15th in points, missed out on this race. Eli Bright runs 30th, Sorlin runs 24th, so neither of those guys will get a lot of points here today. In fact, out of our eliminated drivers, I think Bishop, who came in 18th, and Johnson coming in 20th. They're going to get the most points, but they are a ton of points behind Eli Bright. But they will gain a good amount here today. Andrew Rich leads as Catano and Ice, Jagger, Wild, they will all come to pit road here at 12 to go. And for Andrew Rich, it's a bit of a blessing because several cars got slowed up, including his teammate Matthew Logan. So we'll see if Logan is able to draft back up or not. Wyatt Anderson's coming out of pit road there. As the final round of pit stops commence, Dale Lightning has already come down. He's now a lap down. As you see, Brommer will pit this time. Eli Bright now alone on the racetrack. We're coming to 11 to go. Huge gap now back to Matthew Logan. We'll see if pitting will help him close that up. Tremblay will stay on the track. As Rich, Flickinger, Bishop, and Moore head down pit road. Yeah, Logan will get right to the bumper of the 42 on entry. As most of the field comes to pit road. Mendez coming in. There's Seth Cole. Cole Deaver will stay out another lap. There's Dale Lightning. He's already come out of the pits. Benjamin Ice will lead his group. But we'll see how much they gain or lose because they are underperformance. Coming to 10 to go, it's Brian Tremblay in the lead. We'll see how much staying out by himself hurt him. As here he comes to pit road now. Marty Johnson actually had stayed out with him. Benjamin Ice leading his group. And man, he has lost a ton of time, I think. There's Peter Onjak. There's his group up ahead of him. Voiles, Fitzwater. There's Logan, Commons, and Rowe. So yeah, Ice did not gain anything pitting early. Baker, Bishop, and Flickinger are way behind Watson, and they are way behind Andrew Rich. But that could be dangerous for Andrew. Now he's by himself. He doesn't have any draft to rely on right now. He is a sitting duck. And there's Tremblay and Johnson coming out of pit road. We'll wait and see who passes the 23 here. So Rich is clearly in the lead. Marty Johnson currently still holding on to second place. Wow, into turn 3, Johnson is still in second. And Tremblay is still third, man. They were able to take a lot less gas. So it's Flickinger, Baker, Bishop, Watson, and Ice. And it looks like this pack will catch these guys as well. So it's going to be a huge pack of cars. trying to track down the one of Andrew Rich, who's got a 4-second lead at 9 to go. Yeah, so everyone's going to be together back here. They're going to have to catch Chris Wheeler first, but Rich is by himself, Lightning by himself, Brommer's still on the bumper of Bright in a way. Well, let's see how that sorted out the rest of the field. Mendez is 15th at the line last time by. Dylan Young 20th. So it looks like, yeah, those groups merged up together. So Dylan Young has an opportunity to get up to 13th. Meanwhile, Braxton lost that group. He's down to 27th by himself. Brommer in 30th. Still Lightning 31st. Commons 32nd. Seth Cole 35th. And Gardner 37th. But if Rich catches anyone, it'll be the 5. And he is closing in on him from the looks of things. Gardner with damage. He'll be caught again. But Rich leads the group. He's not getting caught that quickly because these guys are not going that much faster than him. You got the wrong guys leading the group. You got to get Johnson up there. You got to get Bishop up there. Flickinger, Matthew Logan. Well, they gained a full second that time by. Yeah, Andrew Rich is a sitting duck here. You want to win the race so bad. You just want to. If Rich or Logan wins, they'd be the first to 6 victories, and they would lock into the final 5. And honestly, you come into this final 10 drivers. You know, Baran-Oscus got eliminated. It was a shame to see her get eliminated because she's been one of the most consistent drivers all season. But a bad round of 15 got her kicked out of title contention. Eli Bright also has been very consistent, though he doesn't have as many wins. Do we have a caution? Did I see caution lights? Or was I imagining things? No, we got caution lights. Did they take it? No, they didn't. They did not take the yellow. And there was a wreck. And it involves Edwin Mendez. This is going to change everything. A lot of drivers already took the yellow. And it's only 5 to go. So we should theoretically have a 1-lap shootout. Taking the caution will be Marty Johnson in the lead. Johnson leading, Bishop 2nd, Logan 3rd, Rich will be 4th, Baker 5th, Ice 6th, Flickinger, Catano, Watson, Wild, your top 10. None of those guys wanted to see it though, because now they're on risk. It's just a 1-lap restart. It's all about getting up to speed as fast as you can. They are going to potentially lose their top 10 finishing positions here. But Mendez's car is destroyed, so an accident in the second group, that takes him out of the race. Gardner gets saved from going 2 laps down. This is going to really help Brommer, Lightning, Braxton. They were all way far back in the pack. They have an opportunity here. Cole Deaver's front end is destroyed. Dylan Young has a chance to get into the top 10 here. But, man, Marty Johnson leading them back to the caution. Let's take a look at what caused our technically first caution of the race. We'll also go back and see what happened with Chris Wheeler, Johnny Gardner, and the incident getting on the pit road. All right, here we go. Looking at what happened to Chris Wheeler. They were 4 wide there. Gardner and Ellison were 4 wide. Trying to squeeze in next to Ryan Brommer. And there's initial contact there. That gets Gardner and the Seth Cole down into Brommer, and Chris Wheeler he goes. And then King will spin Gardner around. I'm really surprised this was not a yellow. King is still on the racetrack there with the 98 sideways. Really questionable call by the officials to not throw the caution there. We could have had a completely different race outcome if there was. But that is what happened to those drivers. So now let's see what happened with Barana-Oskis and the getting on the pit road drama. All right, here we go. We're getting on the pit road. There was a bit of a split, and Barana-Oskis, she just didn't expect Commons to go to the middle, and she just pile drives the 19 there. Fitzwater gets clipped by the 19. Let's see, Cole Deaver's involved there. Fitzwater locks it up. He'll end up going around with more contact from Deaver. And Barana-Oskis had just destroyed the front end on her race car and decided it was time for them to just park it. Frustrating day for the team in the 21. Now let's take you to what brought out the caution. Well, those of you who saw the 2019 NRSL Mountain Dew for the Win Cup Series race at Daytona will remember a wreck with Peter Sands, and this is just such a similar occurrence here. Mendez is 4 wide with Voiles, and they just get contact because they're not even up the track. They go in front of Zoe Fernandez, and Mendez is going to get flipped on his roof. Sekuli gets clipped on Jack Ellison. Anderson's around. And then Mendez only barrel rolled once. If he was still on his roof when he hit the grass here, he totally would have done the same thing that happened to Peter Sands and barrel rolled it. So Ellison, Anderson, Mendez all spinning. And then Deaver here is just trying to get back up on the track, but nowhere to go. Gets into it with Mendez again. And then hard into the outside wall goes Cole Deaver. Ellison at this point has gotten the wheels back straight. And then here comes Fitzwater into this. I don't think he hits anyone. I think he did a pretty good job of slamming the brakes. Yeah, he misses the 10. And then Braxton, Zorlin, Seth Cole, and Oskin are going to come in here. I think Mendez is trying to get to the apron, and Anderson's coming up the track. Ooh, and Braxton is going to narrowly get through that. Zorlin and everyone else, they see the whole closing. They slam the brakes. And then they'll dip to the apron trying to not hit the 4. And that was what brought out our only caution of the day. Let's take an onboard with Edwin Mendez. On board with the JD Motorsports number 4 Chevrolet. Not the way he wanted to end his day. A tough break for Edwin Mendez in the championship hunt. He'll head into Homestead looking for a victory. We are back at Daytona for a one-lap shootout. Oh man, we saw this last time at Gateway. And this is going to be a lot more crazy. And it's all going to be about a good restart, getting the most draft. And honestly, it's all going to be about horsepower because it takes a full lap to get up to speed. So, I mean, the upper hand right here goes to Logan in 3rd and Rich in 4th. Rich has won at Daytona before in the NRSL Cup Series. Man, who's going to get this done? Johnson leading. He won at St. Giltis. Bishop in 2nd, who won at Coca-Cola. Logan in 3rd. Rich won back at Talladega. We've got 3 of our super speedway winners at the front of the field. Seth Cole, you know, he won at Armory Digital. So out of our 4 super speedway races, we've got 3 of the 4 winners at the front. It's going to get tense. Rest of your top 10. Cole Baker in 5th. Benjamin Ice in 6th. Adam Flickinger 7th. Catano 8th. Watson 9th. Wild in 10th. Dylan Young is in 19th. Braxton 24th. Brommer 26th and Lightning 28th. They are the last on the lead lap. Sky Commons a lap down, 31st. Seth Cole 32nd. Gardner 34th. Mendez will finish officially in 38th place. Here we go. Who gets back to the line first? Green flag is out, and Andrew Rich will go to the top. Bishop with a bad restart. That could seal the deal for Marty Johnson. We're going to go to the spectator camera. Rich behind RJ Bishop. Who gets the run first? Bishop moves to the outside. Can't quite get there on Bishop. There's the run by Rich. He gets held up. Down the back straightaway into turn 3. Matthew Logan with a huge run of momentum. To the inside of the racetrack he goes on RJ Bishop. Can Marty Johnson hold on? Side by side for the race win. They're coming to the checkered flag. Logan with the advantage. Baker's going to make it 3 wide. Matthew Logan wins at Daytona and locks himself into the final 5 for Texas. 6th win of the season for Matthew Logan. What a finish by the 9. What a race. What a finish. 31 1,000ths of a second. Marty Johnson won that race. Baker in 3rd. 23 1,000ths behind Johnson. Bishop will get 4th, Benjamin Ice 5th, Rich 6th, Flickinger 7th, Catano 8th, Wild 9th, and Benny Watson rounds out the top 10. Dylan Young made it up to 15th. Braxton up to 18th, Brahmer 22nd, Lightning 24th. So all the playoff guys who were down farther in the order, they got some good points out of that. Commons ends up 29th, Seth Cole 32nd, Gardner still 34th. And Mendez will get 38th. What a finish here at Daytona. Matthew Logan with his first win in the playoffs since Iowa. And Matthew Logan is going to be one of the final 5 drivers going for the title at Texas. And he's also the first driver to hit 6 wins on the season. He joins Ryan Brahmer with 2 victories in the playoffs. And now with only 2 more races to go, we'll head to Homestead, the penultimate intermediate racetrack. That could be a good practice ground for those looking to perform well at Texas. But man, that is all I've got for you guys today. Congratulations go again to Matthew Logan on his 6th win of the season. He's in the final 5 for Texas, and I will see you guys next time at Homestead.